and hotter takes. We are excited. This is very much our first rodeo. As you can see, there are lights, there are cameras, there are microphones. This is our first rodeo, so please bear with us. But before we get started, there's one thing that we need to talk about, and it is this beautiful, beautiful venue. Patrick, tell us a little bit about it.
So, guys and gals, we're here tonight at Rally Pickleball. Now, Rally Pickleball is in Lower South End in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's brand new and it's awesome, okay? Lower South End, first of all, let me tell you about LOSO. What do they say, Bill?
They say it's LOSO rising.
LOSO rising. Buy that stock all the way to the top. Pickleball at Rally Pickleball, listen, it's a lifestyle place, okay? It's more than just pickleball. They got pickleball outside, they got it inside, but guess what? You could also come here and drink coffee and do work and have fun, but also, listen guys and gals, the reason we're here gathered around this table is to dine and to have fun. And we could not do that without the annex and these unbelievable wings that we are about to consume. Shout out to you, Chef Corey.
Fast hands, Chef Corey!
Appreciate you guys coming in. Yeah, we got some delicious wings for you guys. One of them is exactly what we do on our menu here. So we use some gochujang, some orange. It's got some good spice and sweetness to it, which is some of my favorite style of wings. You know, a lot of things around here in Charlotte, people love the Bayesian style wing, or they like that sweet and spicy. And that's exactly what this is. Keeps you going. And then our other wing that we got for you to try today, it's we just made a fresh hot sauce. So it's about 8 different peppers, a little bit of heat, not too long on the tongue, but it's like a really fresh buffalo wing. And I think it's fantastic. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, but I think they're pretty fire.
Chef Corey, you hooked it up.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So much.
Yeah, thanks for coming in today.
Can you tell us about anything else on the menu? Because I know, we are here to eat wings tonight, but guess what? You can't eat wings every day of the week. What if I want to come here tomorrow night? What's on the menu?
Wings, right? So you can eat wings every single day. But no, our menu is global street food inspired. It is Neapolitan style pizza, which I think we have some of the best pizza in Charlotte, if not the best pizza in Charlotte.
Talk about it, Chef Corey! Talk about it!
We're bringing it.
That's a hot take. Hot honey.
We sure do,
Double
yeah.
H, you got the
Double
H2
H,
in there?
yeah! Yeah, no, it's great. It's the backhand, so you want to get with it, it's going to smack you right in the mouth. And no, it's delicious. Our pizza is fantastic. And that's really what you got to come back for every time, is getting some great food and beverage, along with our pickleball programming. So come check it out.
Fired up for it. Chef Corey, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it. We'll be right back with some hot takes and hot wings.
Birds flats. There's only one right answer. We'll start with Chris.
Wait, isn't it drums and flats?
Drums and flats. So what do you
Those are kind of hot.
That's probably a good
Yeah, my lips are
And we'll just
I got an ulcer right now,
and
It's a hot day up there, man. Goodness gracious. I mean, hot tailgate, having heat flashes all day. Lots of lemonade for young Patrick.
that's actually good.
What a moment. Fantastic wins. We took some time. There was no way that Bryce was going to give up his wings. He may be eating them throughout the rest of the show.
Oh, we're not done.
You are not done. But I believe thank yous are in order. And the first and foremost, I do want to say, Eric and Chris, who are back there at ACC Media Day, I met Eric. And he said, "Oh, you are a flamboyant shirt man." And I was. I was wearing Rowback every single day of ACC Media Day. Thank you, Chef.
Yeah, my
And
pleasure.
Some hot fries for hot takes.
since then, we found out that he did some film work with On3, did some film work with the Players Tribune, and here we are now. Again, first rodeo, so cut us some slack. I have my note cards. But Pat, why don't you go ahead and continue with the thank yous that are in order.
Well, you said you were wearing your Rowback. Rally Pickleball is actually sponsored by Rowback, so that was pretty cool to see. My first time coming through here. And then Billy's got the new Virginia Tech rollback polo on as well. Is that the Berg?
This is the Berg.
Is that the inverse Berg? I don't know what they're calling it.
It's the iceberg because it's white.
Fantastic. Well,
Born for marketing.
That's not going to stick.
Born for marketing.
Two people I want to thank here. Eric, because you guys are awesome. And then Helen McKeon, who is the lovely marketing rep that we've been working with here at Rally Pickleball. She's been so fantastic to work with, helping us get this all set up. I know they haven't done any podcasts here before. This is the first one. Hopefully the first of many. And then Kenny Barnes, the king of connecting people in Charlotte. Hat tip to Kenny Barnes for getting us all together.
Hope you're having fun in Cabo, Kenny.
Yeah, Cabo Kenny. He's having a good time down there wearing his Rally Pickleball hat. So, that being said, Bill,
It's
shall
haiku time. We can't start this podcast without a haiku. Bryce Chalkley messaged me immediately and called dibs on the haiku. We weren't even going to do a haiku, and he said, no. Haiku has to be done today. So, Bryce, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
So here we go. Here for the hot wings, staying for the hotter takes. Let's drink PBR.
That is a haiku with a special announcement. Folks, look, PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, there's no place that I'd rather be than right here, right now, with my good friends Hot Takes and Blue Ribbon beer. And at the end of the day, there are all these beers out there. You have so many options, but there is only one beer that is for the blue-collar, working man, blue jeans and sweatshirts, dare I say, a gritty beer, and that is PBR. Thank you so much, PBR, for making this possible. PBR will be sponsoring Sons of Saturday this football season. And special announcement, ding, 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 ding. For the first time ever, PBR will be available in a college football stadium. And that college football stadium is, breaking news, that stadium is Lane Stadium, available only at Benny's. So when you're getting yourself a slice of pizza, get yourself the blue-collar, hard-working individual beer. And that is PBR. So if there are no more qualms, we are going to jump into introductions with our lovely, lovely panel here. I think we'll start to my right.
Bill,
Yes.
before we get started,
Okay.
the fans have been wanting this. I've been bringing it up. I don't know if they wanted it, but they're going to need it now. That's coming out. I brought this up multiple times, and I wanted to bring it out for the live production. I got you your very own grit swear jar. Now, it was a great ad read.
Thank
But
you.
you couldn't resist.
Couldn't help it.
The word came out, so we're gonna put it right here, and I'm actually gonna get it started for you. Here we go.
There we
Grit
go.
swear jar.
$10.
$10.
That's an expensive
that's
grit.
Fine. That will be coming home with me, and I'll just keep saying it the whole podcast.
I don't know what the
That's
proceeds are gonna go to yet. We'll find out something, but right now, there it is.
Great. The grit swear jar is making its first appearance. We're going to go ahead and do some introductions, and we are going to start with Quith over here to my right. Christopher, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody watching and listening?
Let's have a reminder of the categories since there was a little argument of it before.
Yeah, I
Fun
interrupted.
fact.
I'm sorry.
That's right. We are doing, excuse me, I didn't prompt you correctly.
Yeah.
I know you get confused. We're asking for your year of graduation,
right.
what you studied. So tell them about the underwater basket weaving major at Virginia Tech, and then
was an advanced course.
the fun fact.
All
Fun
right.
fact.
So my name's Chris Rieger, class of 2015, studied accounting and information systems and underwater basket weaving.
It's a double major.
According to
major.
Mr. Gopster over here. My fun fact is that I am a Blacksburg townie. So I did go to school there, I did graduate, and I am from Blacksburg. So that's my fun fact.
Cool. Great job, Christopher.
Thank you.
Bryce.
Christian, by the way. It's not Christian.
Christian. Keep Christ in Christian.
My name is Bryce Chalkley. Graduated in 2015, stayed a fifth year. Highly recommended for all you out there. Majored in finance and accounting. My fun fact is I actually became good friends with Pat Finn, being his accounting tutor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw how far that took Pat.
and yeah, now he's here.
4th floor, Newman Library.
was a classic.
We took down Lynn Allman's final.
Dude, little, what a guy.
Griffin Parker.
That's my name.
That is your name. Well, before Griffin goes, I do want to tell everybody, this is unlike most podcasts that we do. If the kids are in the car, prompt them. We don't know if this will go off the rails. It does have a pretty high potential of going off the rails. But, with PBR, please drink that responsibly, and please listen responsibly, because we're probably not going to be acting that responsibly today.
Did you wait for Griff's
Yeah, I think
introduction?
it's
I did.
That was pretty shitty.
That
Away from me.
was strategically
Why
placed.
did Griffin?
Good thing we don't have an actual swear jar.
Yeah, I need to borrow that 50
Yeah.
actually. Griffin Parker, notorious swearer, I suppose, among the group. Graduated in 2012, so a little bit older than the folks here. And my fun fact is that while I was in school, I didn't see a season where we won less than 10 games.
That is fun.
That is a jealous fact.
That is great.
Over here. Patrick Finn, it is your turn.
Just letting you guys know the odds of Griffin dropping the first F-bomb minus 1,000.
Place your bets now.
Pat Finn, class of 2017, studied marketing with a sales concentration from New Jersey. We should have done hometowns, guys. Baltimore, Richmond, Blacksburg. There we go. Fun fact.
Do I not get a hometown? I'll do
You
mine
didn't even
retroactively.
introduce yourself.
That's right, my fault.
My fun fact is that there are 10 Finns who have gone through Virginia Tech, and only 9 of them actually. The fun fact. Am I the one getting camera nervous?
Someone failed out. Someone failed.
No.
9 of them didn't graduate.
9 of those 10 Finns are not from the state of Virginia. Only 1 Finn on that side of the family is from Virginia. The other 9 are from New Jersey. So that's
Wow.
a fun fact.
That's Tommy.
The Garden State.
Tommy Burford. Shout out Tommy. LT's birthday is today.
LT.
Happy birthday, LT.
Happy birthday, LT. Billy Ray Mitchell. I graduated in 2018. I studied consumer studies with a minor in communications. And my fun fact actually, I think if you guys were my accountants, you guys would have a serious problem with the way that I have carried myself in the 2021 year. 2021, I lived in San Diego, California. That did not stop me from attending 6 Virginia Tech games on the East Coast over that football season. So that is my fun fact.
So your fun fact is that you flew commercial quite a bit.
Oh no, with the Delta Platinum card, they were bumping your boy up, dude. They were bumping your Delta loved Billy Ray in 2021.
I'm also not
Still
totally sure what
commercial.
that
I don't think they bumped him to
I don't know what
private.
that has to do with accountants.
Well, if you were my accountant, you'd probably be like, stop doing this. You're screwed. You're making poor decisions. But it was a lesson learned.
But if you had the cash flow to support it, you're good.
Okay.
All right.
You guys
Moving right
ready?
along.
You guys ready to talk football?
Yeah, let's do some picks recaps from last year.
Okay. So,
Feel free to cheer or boo with each one that you hear.
Are these the highlights?
no, this is everything.
This
We're
is
just gonna,
everything.
we're just gonna
You're just
run
gonna
down.
rifle 'em off?
Might be some eyebrow raisers here, but we are going to do the old takes exposed. Okay, we are going to read through the 2022 takes. A lot of these takes were downright bad. We'll start with Bryce.
Oh, wow.
Bryce Chalkley. Grant Wells throws for 3,250 yards. Virginia Tech wins at NC State. Almost. This
Oh,
one-
what a heartbreaker.
This one was one of my favorite Bryce takes. The McDonald twins combined for over 100 tackles.
That's the one I always think about. I'm like,
That wasn't unbelievable. That wasn't. I'm still rooting for it.
it is, yeah.
Oklahoma finishes the season unranked. Ding, ding, ding.
Hit.
Got it. Kentucky wins the SEC East.
Ooh.
Travion Henderson wins the Heisman. Neither of those happened.
1 for 6.
That's not bad.
It's not quite Hall of Fame numbers, but
No.
we're working towards it.
Pat. Peter Moore wins All-America honors. Tight ends have more touchdowns than the wide receivers. Virginia Tech will have a winning record against the spread, and we will record a 50 burger for the first time since 2018. They're all pretty poor.
You go
Billy-
over?
Over.
Over. Wow.
Billy Ray. Virginia Tech has a 100-yard performance by 3 different backs.
That did not happen.
Kind of came close.
Maybe.
Holston almost get 100 against Liberty.
He had 99, I believe.
Virginia Tech sells out all Power 5 home
We need to
games.
pause.
Missed one game. Missed one game by about 5,000 people. So I'll count that as a win
Is that
for a hot
Georgia
take.
Tech?
I think it was Georgia Tech, yes.
Grant Wells.
Oh man.
Grant Wells breaks the record for passing yards. That was
That did not happen.
Not even. Did he sniff it?
the universe. And then Virginia Tech loses to Duke or Georgia Tech. How about both?
So a win.
Great
for me.
take.
Yeah, win for me.
Yeah, we'll give Billy half a point for that one. All right, here's a good one from Griffin. Here's Griffin's takes. Hendon Hooker takes Tennessee to an FCC East title.
Almost.
Wow.
So close.
So
Almost.
close. But the Georgia Dogs took him down. Connor Blumricks has more touchdown passes than touchdown receptions.
That didn't
That
happen.
was a tough one.
For sure didn't happen.
Did not.
Virginia Tech hits at least 85% red zone scoring. No.
No.
And Virginia Tech scores 45 twice.
We were excited, guys. We were excited.
I mean,
and we're excited this
it's
year,
not
too.
lukewarm takes, Billy. It's hot takes, okay?
So if you haven't turned off the podcast yet, because obviously, you know, this
I'm
is
the
a
only
group-
one that's hit.
We're not counting Billy's.
We're one.
I think
one
mine
for 30.
absolutely counts.
Not great.
You can't say
till
something.
live.
I don't. We'll get there later, but I don't know if negative takes count.
Okay. And then Christian here. Virginia Tech produces a first-team All-ACC running back. You might want to
this year.
recycle that one.
Maybe this year.
Maybe.
Didn't know he was gonna be here.
Virginia Tech lands a surprise in-state blue chip who will become the foundation of the rebuild.
Could have just been a year late or a year early on that.
You're
Oh yeah,
I mean, when did the season
are these
stop?
tapes like for 2023?
Could be. Recycle all of them.
We will win 10 games one
one-
season at some point.
This next take we're just gonna burn. Reeves gains entrance into 3 places he's not supposed to
I wanted to punch you in the face.
I want to. Yeah, I kind of want to puke right now.
from using the Sons of Saturday VIP lanyard from Spring Jam.
I couldn't find it. I tried to bring it. Couldn't find it.
And
If someone was
lastly,
supposed to.
I like the creativity on this one a lot. Virginia Tech will beat the brakes off of West Virginia so badly that they will enact another cooling off period and refuse to play the Hokies for another 10 years. We didn't beat the brakes off of them. We did
That was
not
also a
allow
tough game all
the
around.
inverse
But
happen.
I hate West Virginia.
So Oklahoma hit.
One
Not
for
the
30.
best group of guys to listen to for hot takes, but
Last year.
That's why they're hot takes. If
Right.
they hit at an unreal clip, we're not doing our
have you
job.
looked up the definition of a hot take? It is a take that is both controversial and unpopular. Just saying.
Nobody was Googling the definition of hot take.
I mean, with your
I
note
actually-
cards, it's got to be on here somewhere.
I actually looked it up.
Color
I
coded
actually looked
He's
it up
ready.
on Urban Dictionary because I knew you would be like,
so without further ado,
Urban Dictionary to be clear.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
what order should we do? Should we go left to right?
Clockwise always works, right? That feels right.
okay, well, I think Bryce should start because Bryce had the most accurate take.
And then go which way?
We'll go. You got half a point, so we'll
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I really think I'm
counterclockwise.
getting shafted. I feel like the sellout thing I should get at least half a point.
Yeah, but that happens every year almost.
But well, you should have had it as a hot take?
It wasn't
Is
hot.
that a hot take? If it happens every year?
Lukewarm. I'll start. I'm happy to start.
Okay.
guys.
All right, so we're going to do national takes first, right?
Yes. No, we're doing Virginia Tech takes first.
Oh, we are?
Yes.
I don't know if I'm prepared to. Yeah, I've been working on the name pronunciation here.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're ready. I know what you're going to say, and I know you're going to crush it.
Okay. All right, I'm ready for this. Okay, trivia question first on my hot take. There's a
Okay.
theme here. How many 1,000-yard running backs have we had since 2015?
Since 2015?
I'm going to say one, and I'm going to say Trayvon McMillan.
So Trayvon
Oh.
McMillan was in 2015.
Trayvon McMillan and Khalil Herbert. Excuse me, those two.
So Khalil Herbert, 2020 is the only one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I think hot take this year is that I'm trying hard. I want to
You can
pronounce
do
this
it.
right. Is
You got it.
Bashal Tuden.
You got it! You got it! Yeah!
If he's listening, I'm working on your name. But I love your style. So I think he's going to run for 1,000 yards.
Okay.
And your first instinct is going to be we got a talented running back room. I don't agree with, but I think he's going to be a star. Last year at NC A&T, is that where he's transferring from? He ran for almost 1,400 yards, including 100 yards in each of his last 11 games. And you're going to say, hey, he was playing against lesser talent, and he's the far superior talent, and I'm not going to disagree with that. But against Duke, which is a team that was better than us last year, he ran for over 133 yards, had 10 yards per carry. Kid's a bowling ball. Coach Brooks loves him. The offense I think it's gonna make a big jump this year. It needs to, and for us to improve on last year's record. I think Tuden goes for over 1,000 yards this year. Hot take number one.
Hot
is
take
this?
number one.
You say he runs like a bowling ball. When you think bowling ball, Virginia Tech running back, who do you think of?
Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams, yeah.
Bowling ball.
I think of Lee Suggs.
Okay, I was
wasn't-
thinking of Stephen Peebles. So clearly,
Bryce,
Is
I have a clarifying question. You said he ran for over 133 yards. Does that mean
Ran for over 130 yards. It was 133.
Okay.
I'm in sales. You gotta mark. It's all about the
I
marketing.
think so. It's 134. That's a weird way to say 134. He ran for over
His stats are
133.
unbelievable.
They are.
I think he's going to be a stud.
Okay,
And
good.
at where were we? Spring Jam, we talked to Coach Brooks at length. He loves him. He's so excited about him. I think they're going to feed the beast. He's going to run for over 1,000 yards and going to be a big part of our offense taking a big step forward this year.
Boom. Take one is in the hopper. Here we go.
James Hopper.
My first take is that the 2023 Virginia Tech Hokies will have a better record on the road than they will at home this football season. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the record and the schedule is. So right now at home, we have Old Dominion, Purdue, Pittsburgh, Wake, Syracuse, and NC State. Away, we have Rutgers, Marshall, Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, and UVA. Now, the last couple times that this happened, 2015, we were absolutely horrible at home. We were 2-4 at home. 2018, we were 3-4. 2020, we were 3-3 at home. Thank you. Those look phenomenal.
No, more sprinkles.
More sprinkles.
And some bao buns? We got some bao buns?
We got an Auburn shirt from what? 2000. It's 2004. It's 2004. Come on.
He had that in the
I
well.
cried at that game. I saw him walk out with an Auburn shirt earlier, and I was like, that's 2004. That's it, baby. I respect it.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Does anyone have any qualms with that? Better record on the road than at home?
Better record.
The reason why I agree with him is we play Marshall on the road,
Yes.
Boston College on the road,
Yes.
UVA on the road.
Yes.
I think those are all games that not only do we need to win, we're probably going to win.
And Rutgers and Louisville are
And
toss-ups too.
I think the Rutgers game is going to be harder than a lot of people are thinking, but I think it might be an easier game than the Purdue game.
Although
certainly
Louisville's
the
defense
Pittsburgh
taking a
game.
step
To
back.
me, the
I kinda like it.
To me, the toughest games that we play at home are going to be Pittsburgh, NC State. I'm not so sure about Wake Forest. They're well coached. Their number one wide receiver got hurt in the beginning of camp. So yeah, that's my take. I think that we're going to win more games on the road than we are at home.
The only issue there, does fatigue set in? We only have one home game in November. We're on the road a lot at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like back to back to back.
See,
Does that take a toll?
I think we're actually going to if we're going to struggle, I think it's going to be earlier in the season, and then we'll get better as you go. Because we got that tough stretch where we're like at Marshall, Pittsburgh at home, at Florida State, Wake Forest, which is a well-coached team. But I think at the end, we could get in a lot of momentum, have a staple win in Raleigh, and really build some momentum going to next year. I kind of like it.
Thank you.
Griff, you mind handing me an ice cold, genuine PBR? Thank you.
You're up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up?
Yeah, that's how it's going.
Oh,
Do
sorry.
we want to go so when it gets to here, we go back this way?
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. Don't want to get
All right,
lost
so
in
going
snake.
back to the lanyard from I'm just You're about to cold clock me right there.
I was.
All
Some
right.
more wings.
My first hot take is that D Block is back.
Is that a hot take or is that just a sentence?
Go Hokies.
All right, who's next? All right, so D Block is back, and the safeties will anchor it. I think they'll be the strongest unit on the team. We don't have Chamari to lean on now. I think we'll see a lot of guys step up and play assignment football. Safeties will lead the team in takeaways. Obviously, a lot of this will be determined by the guys up front, but I think this year we'll actually pressure the quarterback. I think we got some good guys up front, and I think that's going to help the secondary. And I think the safeties are just going to be total dogs this year because we got Delane on the outside, not going to target him.
Mansour Delane.
I think that Peoples and Stroman are gonna do their thing. I think we're gonna have some truly two strong safeties for the first time in a while. We just play dominant football.
DVU is
So hold on, time out. Instead of the position preview for the defensive backs, what is the take?
No. There's a
take-
tangible take. There's a
The
tangible
is that
take.
they
Did you
will
listen?
be- There's actually
I did. I want him to sum it up into one sentence.
They will be the strongest unit on the team,
Okay.
and they will lead the team in takeaways.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I'm including Jenkins in there because he's playing the star position, and I'm gonna call that a hybrid. So.
There you
You
go.
want to take the middle linebacker too?
And anyone else who has an interception or forced fumble, also a safety.
That's
a good take. I am going to march to that tune because I have a very similar take. It's not D Block is back, but if you look at what I'm about to say, I think we're aligned here, Christian. We only picked off 4 passes last year. That is awful, okay? When you think of Virginia Tech football, you think of that thing right there, and you think of getting pressure on the quarterback and getting him to commit turnovers. Okay, let's talk about the turnovers last year. One of them was the first play from scrimmage on defense at home. You guys remember Armani Chapman's pick against Boston College? And we're like,
What a
oh my
moment.
God, hang the banner. We're going undefeated at home. And then,
We didn't.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
The other one was the Kelly Lawson pick 6 against Georgia Tech. Monster Delane had one. Keontae Jenkins had one. But we need to change that. We need to triple, quadruple, 5-tuple, whatever.
Whoa.
That amount of interceptions this year. And it's going to be led by, actually, the corners. The corners. So, did any of you guys see Spy Kids?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Anyone see Spy Kids 3D?
No.
No.
You know what 3D is, right? Like the glasses
Yeah.
and stuff?
I was hoping someone's answer was going to be changed from no to yes.
What's
oh, now I know what you're talking about.
What's better?
The glasses.
What's better than 3D?
4D.
4D.
Wow.
And you know what we got on this Virginia Tech defense? We got 4Ds. Derek Jones. Derek Canteen. Dorian Strong. And Mansour
You can't do that.
D-Lane. And guess what? The 4Ds, it's like the 5 Ds of dodgeball. The 4 Ds of Virginia Tech's defense are bringing us back. Okay? The 4 Ds. You got Derek Jones, Coach Cheetah. These aren't Cheetah wings, but they are just as good.
And do you have sprinkles?
We got Derek Canteen, 6 picks last year, Georgia Southern. Mansour Delane, the sophomore sensation. Dorian Strong, arguably the best corner on the team. Didn't play much last year because he broke his hand. But the actual cut and dry prediction is that Virginia Tech defense will have over 1.0 interceptions per game, and the 4 Ds combined for over 6.5 interceptions.
You're including a coach into getting an interception.
Give him the ball. Let him run with the rock.
I gotta tell you, I love your take. These are unbelievable.
The valve loading?
They're so damn
Kind
good.
of sweet.
They're good. Griff.
Yeah,
Oh, by the
I
way,
guess
I don't mean to poo-poo on you again. The minute we leave the house during rush hour, the minute we leave the house, Griff goes, gotta tell you, I left my notebook at home. He wrote down all of his notes, so feverishly he did type them all back around his phone.
No, it's back sitting right at home, right on my desk.
We had the legal pad last year.
Yeah, I had it again.
He had it was ready, and he left it at home.
Hey, Bryce, you got a little.
We got a little
Saving it for later?
We got to start over. Griff doesn't have a legal pad.
So I think we all probably should have talked maybe a little bit beforehand, but I also have a turnover prediction. I'm actually going to put I'm going to nut up and put some numbers to it because everybody's talking about
nut up.
being better and 5-tupling.
Excuse me, I have 2 tangible numbers
so
right
your
here.
hot take is not going to be the defense is going to be maybe good or bad.
Yeah. So my take is that the Hokies defense has at least 18 turnovers, doubling their production from last year. So 81 teams last year had 18 turnovers or better. I think that we can climb into that category. Brent Pry is a defensive-minded coach talking about getting back to Hokie culture. Like Pat said, Hokie culture is the lunch pail defense. It is gritty. It is getting after quarterbacks. It is forcing turnovers. I was watching the 2010
Running out of dollars.
2010
I'm paying up
ACC
front.
championship game. That year we had 22 interceptions. It's like we can get back to there, and it got to start somewhere. And not single-digit turnovers is abysmal. I think that
Didn't Hosley have 10 of those picks?
yeah, it was unreal.
would've been-
I think we double production this year, and we are over 18 plus turnovers.
Boom.
Wow.
Over 18 plus turnovers. Bryce,
That's a hot one.
number 2.
I'm going to go back to the offense because our defense is going to be amazing. So, if being that, no one's going to score on us, everyone's just going to be turnover central, which I am rooting for. I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to go back to another trivia question.
Okay.
How many times in Virginia Tech history have we had a wide receiver that has scored double-digit touchdowns in a season?
So
Isaiah Ford?
Andre Davis. Yes, no?
Probably Antonio Freeman.
I know the answer, so you can.
Well, I know, but can we
Jared
participate?
Boynton
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Can we play along?
Yeah.
Jared Boynton or
No,
no?
I don't think Boykin did.
What I'm gonna say 3.
Cam Phillips. Okay, that's 4.
Okay, so 4.
If you have Antonio Brown in there.
What about Ernest Wolford?
So it's happened one time.
Oh wow! What?
It's happened
Talk
one
about
time,
a
and it
rug
was Isaiah
pull.
Ford in his sophomore year. He had 11
Wow.
11 receiving touchdowns. The only time it's ever happened. So again, I think I understand defensive-minded coach. Like, defense is our culture. I think our offense again needs to take a big step for us to put more digits in the win column. I think it's Ali Jennings, right? Ali Jennings. We met up, or we saw him speak at
Yes.
Media Day. He was great. He's got a big personality. Everyone's got great things to say about him. I think he's going to become the leader in that offense. I think he's going to be the second player in Virginia Tech history to have double-digit receiving touchdowns. He's not going to quite get to 11. I think he's going to have 10. But my take is he's going to have double digits.
Okay, I like that.
He burned us last year.
Yeah,
Can I ask
he
a
crushed us last year.
Who's throwing the ball?
Grant Wells.
Grant Wells is throwing him the football. Okay. 10 touchdowns for Ali Jennings.
I'm not saying we're going to have a gazillion touchdowns. I just think he's going to catch a lot of them.
Okay.
And he's going to score a lot.
Okay.
And we're going to need him to.
We will have 10 touchdowns, and Bryce thinks that he will score all of them.
So
I'm actually.
we can get our Ali Jennings touchdown tracker week 1 against his old team. Maybe he'll score 2. Maybe he'll make it easy for me.
Throw in the group chat.
Look, I'm going to shift back to defense. Everybody is jazzed about the pass rush. And everyone's like, oh, Billy Ray's going to come on here and he's going to say the defensive line's going to. No, I'm actually going to go in a completely different direction. We're fired up about APR. We're fired up about APR. We're fired up about Fuga. We're fired up about that unit. JC Price is recruiting at a high level. Let's go. Fantastic. But this is hot wings and hot takes, not hot wings and think whatever and just say something uninteresting.
Sweet barbecue.
So, yeah, this isn't sweet barbecue. Thank you. I wish we could have
What's
combined
going on here? What's going on in your brain?
Dude, it's a monkey with cymbals all day, dude. So my take is that Virginia Tech will have a Virginia Tech linebacker will lead the team in sacks. But Billy Ray, that happened in 2021. Bet. I'll double down. The Virginia Tech linebackers will have more combined sacks than the Virginia Tech defensive line. I look at Keli Lawson, who's a complete freak. Kelly Lawson, who's a complete freak. I look at Jaden McDonald. I look at Alan Tisdale. I look at Jaden Keller. I look at Micah Parsons and what he did in the Penn State defense with Coach Pry. I am going with the linebackers having more sacks than the defensive line in 2023.
I can do that.
Okay.
I am glad to hear that. Do you like that?
Keli is going to tear it up.
Yeah, Keli. Wait until they see this Kelly guy, because Keli is unbelievable. So that is my take number 2 for Virginia Tech.
You spelled tech wrong.
That is actually, I meant to put, I have Virginia Tech take. I just forgot to put tech. Thank you.
I'm the Billy Ray translator. Speak to me if you're confused.
All right. We ready to get into like the hotter takes?
Oh.
Turn it up.
Okay.
Turn it up a notch?
Yes, please do.
Because everyone thinks that.
Right.
My next hot take is that Pop Watson will be the starter by the end of the year.
No, he won't.
Okay.
Before you guys shut me down,
We really need to start coordinating things.
before you guys shut me down,
Let's let him incriminate him.
I love it. That's a hot take. That's how we're supposed to react.
No, we're not bailing you out. Go ahead.
is he like off the team or something?
No.
Is he a true freshman?
Yes.
All right.
Go on.
Any other meatball facts you'd like to toss across the plate?
Does he play for Virginia Tech?
Does he play for Tech?
And is he a quarterback?
I think Pop Watson will be the starter by the end of the year. This is no dig on Wells, Drones, or any of the other quarterbacks. But I can foresee the shuffling offensive line leading to an injury or two. And I think by the end of the year that we're going to look like, all right, who are we going to build around? Who are we going to build around? And you're going to say, wait, this could be the guy.
Can I ask you a question? How tall are you?
About 6'1" or 6'2".
How tall are you actually?
About 5'9".
Okay. How much do you weigh?
250.
How much do you actually weigh?
About 170.
Okay. So Pop Watson is 5'11", 176 pounds.
How tall, how much does Bryce Young weigh?
He's like 200 pounds.
Yeah, if you're
So
like a wet shirt.
I just want to clarify: is this going to be like a battlefield promotion because there's some injuries and he's the only man standing, or is it going to be merit based where he just outshines? And
No, it will not be merit based. It will not be merit based.
So your hot take is that we're going to be depleted.
Right.
My hot take.
We're going to have to put somebody in to play quarterback.
My hot take is that our offensive line will struggle so much that we're going to have 2 or 3 hurt quarterbacks.
Oh my God.
And Pop Watson's going to come in, and by the end of the season,
Where's the thing that goes up and down?
the fans are going to be like, he's going to have some electric plays, and we're going to be like, let's just build around this guy.
I don't mean to make fun of the listeners, but you know there are people in the car right now.
They're fired
They're
up.
just taking
They're
it like,
fired up.
I do like this guy Chris, man. I can't wait to see Pop Watson out there in week 7.
I'm just saying.
Look, and this is in no way, none of us are saying that we're not excited about
Hey,
Pop
Pop, I have
Watson.
faith in you.
See, you're doing it. We're not having faith in Pop Watson. We are looking at the fact that he's 176 pounds.
I think that's fine.
I'm
This is
more
college
looking at
football.
it as
But think
I
how big
think-
his heart is. Think how big his heart is. Come on, guys.
I want us to have a great season. I think
Yes.
at this point, from what we've seen, our best chance to do that is with Grant Wells at the helm. Currently, that could change
Right.
throughout the season.
Change quick.
It's very different going from practice to game. I think right now we need him to shine.
I hope he
I don't
does.
think it's a bad. I, mean,
I
it could
hope
definitely
this top
happen.
take isn't
Bryce,
right.
it's a horrible take.
No, it could happen. I'm not rooting
All
for
right.
it. Like,
Hey,
the way that he wants it.
I'm
to
just
happen.
saying.
Hey,
I'm just
listen.
saying. We get 175-pound Pop Watson under center. Boom, like lightning. Scores a touchdown on his feet. Escapes the rush because the offensive line is struggling, and then all of a sudden the fans are behind him. We have someone to build behind. I'm booking 2026 national championship hotels right now.
Okay. Pat, can you pass me a pubber and give me your?
I sure can.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about defense. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Pop Watson's going to need to have weapons, right?
Right.
He is.
It's going to need to have weapons. Everyone is talking about Jalen Lane, about Ollie Jennings, about Daquan Felton. You had Nick Gallo going to HCC kickoff. We actually had in our group chat,
He looked great in that maroon suit, by the way.
him and
looked
Coach,
really
they got
good.
the same tailor.
Yeah, Billy made that joke.
What joke?
The Taylor joke.
Hey, pay attention.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so Sam Jesse in the group chat says, I don't know if anyone in the country knows anything about our team other than Allie Jennings transferring in.
Right.
But there's a guy sliding under the radar, and his name is Daquan Wright. Okay? Daquan Wright last year had, where are my notes? 19 catches for 208 yards. Jaden Blue came in before last year. Connor Blumrick, we were all excited about Blumrick. They combined for 20 catches and 200 yards. So Daquan Wright maxed out on their production as a single guy. He's got that big frame. He's like that Bucky Hodges, dare I say Greg Boone. He's a walking first down when he gets the ball in his hands. You guys remember the Pittsburgh game last year? Get that guy in open space. My conclusion here, Daquan Wright is third team all ACC when it's all said and done in 2023.
I like that take. My only concern would be how many different tight ends are going to play this year with Benji Gosnell and Nick Gallo and Daquan Wright. But I do think it's been kind of funny to watch this offseason how much he has kind of taken a back seat with all of the other transfers and weapons that have come in this year. So I like that.
I got more excited with him with the ball in open space last year than really more than anyone else.
I got excited anytime we had the ball in open space because it just seems to not happen that often.
Cool.
Grip Dog.
Well, yet again, it seems like we probably should have chatted beforehand. I'm going to zig while Rieger zagged, and I'm going to say that Drones starts at least 3 games this year. Reason being, we like Grant Wells. He's kind of a turnover machine. Last year, we didn't have a
He only had 9
horse in the-
picks. A turnover machine is like,
Eli Manning.
20 picks.
Future Hall of Famer.
Okay, you can't call our guy a turnover machine when he had 9 touchdowns and 9
It's like Jameis
interceptions.
Winston in 30-30 year.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
turnover.
Hey, can we let the Griff
Oh, I'm
dog
sorry.
finish
I'm
his
interrupting.
I'm going to fuck myself.
Oh, there it is.
And there it is.
There it is.
For those of you who had minus 1,000, go to the carousel,
Catch it.
cash in your bets.
So, I think that similar to, my freshman year was 2008. Sean Glennon got the hook for Tyrod after he had a pretty subpar performance against ECU. I think that if this year things go as poorly as they did against ODU, in which I think is a must-win game to set the tone for the season, it's not a can't lose, it is a must-win game for us. I think if things go south, now we have somebody in the stable. We didn't have any backups last year that we felt confident throwing in. I think the Drones can come in, and I think that if he gets a chance, he might not give the reins back.
Wow. I can certainly see that happen.
I will say, I do think the consensus is Drones might have a higher ceiling. He's an athletic specimen. I think Grant Wells is sneaky athletic, and I still think he's going to be the guy, but I think you could argue he's got a higher ceiling. So
They both have the same eligibility left, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
And we need a win now. Like, there's no like easing into it. If something's going to go wrong early, I think we're going to make a
What I
decision
hope
quick.
doesn't happen is that
Both of our quarterbacks get hurt.
I hope that happens. What I hope doesn't happen is that just like, say Grant Wells wins the starting job, and we keep talking about a dual quarterback system, please don't put Drones in for one play every few drives and run an off tackle. Oh, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're setting it up. And I've thought we've been setting that up for like 20 years, but we never do. If we put in like the backup who's a running threat, can we try like a little Tim Tebow, like
Jump through
little,
something
like,
fun.
yeah, little like pump and pass? But I hope that if Drones gets his shot, it's like a legitimate shot and not just like a, oh, he's a dual threat. Let's run him.
You want him to have the full playbook.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Up?
You're up.
You're up.
All right. This last round of hokey takes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this one, I went a little different here. It's more of a personal goal. It's not like Rieger's lantern.
I get in trouble for
Yeah.
personal.
Lanyard.
What did I say? Lantern?
You did lantern.
But we knew what I was talking about. I need a translator
The
too.
lantern's next. Watch out.
Yes. So as all of you know, and some of you listeners know, my wife and I recently welcomed our first child, Elsie, to this world. She's 3 months old today, and we are bringing
Happy
her to her
month day, Elsie.
Yeah. We're bringing her to her first game, homecoming weekend, Wake Forest. We got a house. We're staying the whole weekend. My hot take, so I'm bringing a 4-month-old into Lane Stadium, maybe 5.
You got the little like.
You got the
earphones
headphones,
for it,
got the whole thing, but like, there's a lot of variables here. I mean, we might not even get into the building.
Right.
My hot take is that Elsie makes it through the entire first quarter before we leave. I'm really rooting for
How
that.
closely will that correlate with the student section?
What do you mean?
Like the student section also leaving me.
Oh, wow. Well, let's
Who stays longer?
If Elsie
or Johnny?
We might need an Elsie tracker on that one.
Elsie plus
But
750.
I think she's going to make it through the first quarter, and then we'll probably have to go home, which is fine.
Hey.
But I think that'd be a big win.
Just make sure you guys get a nice picture in front of the scoreboard
Oh.
that says 2 above quarter with Elsie, so we can track that.
Right. The main goal here is obviously I'm introducing my, my daughter to Hokie Nation. But the real reason is if she goes to school there and she's talking to her friends like, oh, I've been a fan my whole life. I've gone to a game every year of my life. People are going to be like, oh, no, you didn't. And she's going to be like, not so fast.
Late Corso.
4 months old, boom, picture.
Not so fast.
That's what I'm here for. So Elsie makes it through the first quarter.
You should take a picture of it at her first game every year.
That's not only.
I think
that's
that's the
not only a
plan.
spicy take, Bryce, but that's a sweet.
Yeah,
That is a
That is a sweet take.
It's
Sweet
but
and
I can
spicy.
tell
Like
you
those wings we had earlier.
Y'all
both
also,
sweet and spicy.
Y'all do not have 3 month old girl at your house. Her making it through the first quarter is going to be an event. I mean, I need everyone.
Just let us know what we can do.
I need everyone convincing Mace. Oh, she can make it. A couple more plays.
And we'll barricade Section 5 portal if you guys are trying to
We
leave.
need the ball. we need the ball to stay in bounds. We need the clock to run.
Yeah.
So that's my third hot take.
So hopefully Bashal Tootin is getting the ball.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, hot take number 3. I'm talking about the tunnel. In the tunnel, there's the sign. There's a sign in the tunnel. And what does it say? It says, for those who have passed and for those to come, reach for excellence. And I want to talk about a Hokie who is going to be reaching for excellence this year. Last time a Chicago Bear rushed for 1,000 yards was 2020. It was David Montgomery. He averaged 4.3 yards per carry, and he was the 6th ranked running back in fantasy football for all you fantasy footballites out there. In year 1, Khalil Herbert averaged 4.2 yards per carry on 103 carries. In year 2, he averaged 5.7 yards per carry on 129 carries. Here is the take. Khalil Herbert over 1,000 yards next year for the Chicago Bears, and he is a top 7 fantasy football running back in the NFL next season. He's starting on a team. He's going to be the starter for Chicago on a team who has a quarterback who's a little vertically challenged passing through the air. So
Dude,
that is my take.
I've had enough of that.
What?
Vertically challenged quarterbacks? Come on.
What do you got?
Can I say something?
Of course.
Is that a take?
Hold on. I'm going to pull Pat and say, we're going to zoom out here. Your Virginia Tech hot take is that the Bears are going to have a good rushing attack.
I loved your take. Your take is about your daughter. Your take is about
Sorry.
Last year.
Hey, Bill, how many Chicago Bears games you going to this year?
0. You got me! That's my take. It's my take. I'm standing by. How do we feel about the take itself?
It's a good take.
Yeah, but we're not going to count it when it hits.
No, it absolutely counts.
This is like NFL and Chicago Bears fans.
He is a Virginia Tech Hokie graduate.
Yeah, I love him.
When we're in Lane Stadium, they're going to play the highlight of him having 3
Really?
touchdowns.
You were very hard on
takes
me.
about like what Hoda says on her show tomorrow morning? Like,
That's my take.
That's Good Morning America.
You were very hard on me about making
Today
sure I
Show.
knew coming into this.
Oh, I was wrong.
That
The Today
my
Show.
takes need to be about what happened inside Lane Stadium.
I think I said they had to be Virginia Tech related.
I think
I
Billy.
think that's Virginia Tech adjacent. at
Billy,
best.
if I have the flag, you're getting a 15-yard personal
My
foul,
hot take is
and all of us
Britt's
are
gonna get a
taking
promotion
advantage.
this year. He's an ET grad.
Well, that's my take. So take that to the bank for all of you fantasy football GMs out there. Make sure you draft Khalil Herbert.
And please comment that doesn't count.
Or comment that
Be
it
on
does.
our side.
Doesn't count.
We're gonna review these next
we'll put
year
a
and
poll
we'll be like, wait a second, here's
The new addition was the grit swear jar this
NFL
year.
take.
Next year's going to be the challenge. And we're going to
we
throw
all
it.
get to challenge one take.
Yes.
You're like, that sucks. Try again.
Well, we're just going to challenge the validity of it.
All right, well, the challenge has already been thrown on Billy.
Yeah, and we won.
And
No
you guys,
timeout.
And there's only one challenge flag.
and there's only one challenge flag, so you can't stop me. Before I go into my last Virginia Tech inside of Lane Stadium hot take, I'd like to say that I am actually very passionate about this take, and I probably say it at the beginning of every game while my hands are shaking and my dad is standing right beside me and agreeing.
The height limit at Six Flags is simply too tall.
All right. You got your shots in. You got your shots in. We're done. We're done.
That was a good one, buddy. That was a good one.
It was funny the second time, third time. Not the fifth. All right.
The coin toss will directly determine the outcome of 83% of our home games.
Wait, I want the challenge flag back.
What is the correlation?
I want the challenge flag back.
Are you calling it
Are you
if
saying
you
the
win the
winner of
toss?
coin toss
If
gonna
we
the
win
game?
the toss, hey, it is simple. If we win the toss, we win the game. It's simple football.
We don't
We're gonna.
Some people try and win in the
hold on.
trenches.
Hold
We
on.
try and
It
win in
doesn't
the
matter. It
toss.
doesn't matter if you pick. All right, you want me to say if the other team picks wrong and we win because the other team got it wrong?
I would like your pick not to be about coin tosses.
All right,
That's what I would
listen. Data suggests.
If you look at the data.
Data suggests that the if the team wins the toss, that team wins 50.2% of the time.
So wait.
I think the correlation will be greater than that for
A
us.
33% jump.
So you say winning the coin flip is the coin flip?
To be more clear, Rieger's saying we're going to go 5-1 at home.
Yeah, 5-1.
Like he's saying it.
There's one game where
he's
like-
saying it in a very elaborate way. He's saying we're going to go 5-1.
If we win the coin,
if we
if we win every coin toss.
If we lose, we're
Assuming
one
And he said, he's like, oh shit, that is what I said.
I hate. Wait, we could lose 3 coin tosses,
I'm not gonna lie, I think I
And
hated
lose
the
3
past
games.
two takes.
It
I think
can
I'm
go
ready to
around, but
move
my
on to the
prediction
next.
is
I see what you're saying.
is that
back
if
on the
we-
rails?
All right, guys. I think we're gonna throw the
Back on the
challenge
rails.
flag.
No. All right, just think about it. When we win the coin toss,
I'm talking
about
about.
it.
Can we go back to talking about the defense?
oh, we're about to.
What are you?
That's
you have
your
two
last
takes.
If we win the coin toss, we're on defense first. Lane Stadium's rocking. The other team goes 3 and out. We get the ball back, maybe even a blocked punt.
Let me explain to you what happens when you start on
Restricted
defense.
drive to touchdown.
We are not-
Momentum was a young team.
This is not like the fantasy world how I drew it up in my dream last night.
All right,
First 3 and out.
Okay.
I'm taking pick 6. I'll play 1. Set the tone real quick.
I was planning for all this feedback.
It's gonna be 67 degrees Fahrenheit.
Take us back to the 80s.
When the coin toss really
they
mattered.
thought the same thing about special teams. And then boom, beamer ball. Special teams doesn't matter, it's just luck of the draw. Oh, you can't block a punt, it's just luck of the draw. Coin toss, we're gonna have a lineman out there with a whiteboard calculating the refs.
I just have to
Thumb velocity, everything else.
Special teams.
I'm telling you, coin toss will be a big part of the game in the next 5 years. And I hope we're at the forefront.
All right.
And is your take the advanced statistics that tails never fails?
Yeah, what is the
Wait, one
I'm
last
ready
more
to-
questions. I'm ready to talk about the
Or
defense.
Pat, can you get Pat talk?
Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
I'm excited to talk about that later. So let's talk about the defensive line. Let's talk about the football game and the football field and the people wearing maroon. 22 sacks last year out of this unit. Taiwan Garbutt had 6.5 of them. He was our leading sacker. He had 3 of them week 2 against Boston College. Billy Ray brought this up on the Boundary Corner. The Basial Tootin' Corner podcast. Billy Ray brought this up on Boundary Corner the other night. Fun panel, that was awesome. And was praised, and I loved it. Who here can answer this? Who was the last Virginia Tech defensive lineman to record double-digit sacks?
Daddy Nicholas.
No.
Daryl Sapp.
No.
Tim Settle.
No.
Kenny Canham.
Yes.
Let's go.
Here we go. Big Ken, 10.5 in 2014.
Wow.
So my take, I'm hearing some good things about the linebackers. Hearing some good things about some of the newcomers on the defensive line. You got a guy like Keyshawn Burgos, who is jockeying for a starting spot with Cole Nelson. You got this guy Antoine Powell-Ryland coming in, transfer from Florida, lit it up in November of last year. My take here, the tangible take, Keyshawn Burgos, Kelly Lawson, and APR, Powell-Ryland, combined for over 11.5 sacks.
Combined.
I feel like that's a sweet barbecue cake.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah,
only adding
so you're saying
5.
Being that we only had 22, we had 22 last year, and you think probably our 3 best guys
Are only gonna have 11.
are going to average half
Are you
of
telling
that.
me that Keyshawn Burgos is one of our best guys?
But wait, you just.
Well, you gave me 2 of our starters.
I thought you were going to give us a double-digit sack from one person.
I
You
was
just split it
thinking,
in 3
I was
people.
expecting the number to be in the 20s.
Yeah,
I'm saying on the topic of sacks, let's talk about sacks.
Suddenly the coin toss take isn't looking so
no, it's still dumb.
Yeah, that's definitely
still
still
dumb.
I was hoping that
So
you're
you're saying
It's
you're saying I
Luke
teed
won
it
the
up.
best.
I teed it up to be like 15.
Yeah.
You kept grabbing a lot. No, I'm thinking you teed up
Yeah,
to say like 20.
22.
Yeah,
Think about
Three
it.
guys?
Hold on, think
Yeah.
about it. If Powell has, say, 10, which is the number that... Hold on, stop. You anchored us with asking us
Yeah.
about 10.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind went. And then let's say Lawson has 6, because he thinks the linebacking crew is going to dominate, and Burgos as a backup has 4. All of a sudden, 20 is a big
4
number.
as a backup,
Yeah.
so we're getting 30 sacks.
No, we only had 22 last year.
Yeah, what? If we're getting better, we got to get better.
Do you know
right?
who's had the most sacks in the country in the last like 30 years? Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
22 is not a big number.
I know.
Doesn't get me out of bed.
I'm telling you that these 3 are going to combine for over 11.5. All right, maybe I messed it up by prefacing it with Billy Ray's take from the other night. I had my take laid out, and then I was like, you know what?
I think it's.
Let's give Billy Ray some
I just
flowers.
don't think it's a
Can you get spicier with it?
big take.
Okay, all right.
Trim it down to 2 of those guys. Trim it down to 2 of those
We'll either
I
trim-
think doubling
let's-
it would be more exciting, or at least 20.
Who
How
cares?
about-
Double it.
How
Double
about
it.
17 and a half? 17
Double
and
and
a
pass
half.
to the next person, or whatever they
Here,
do.
all
on
right,
TikTok.
let's take it. Burgos, Lawson, and APR over 17 and a half.
I like that.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay.
Let's throw some
That's way
skin in the
better.
game.
That is way better.
Okay. All right.
They're gonna get 11 and a half.
Now, Griff, talk about the wins.
Yeah.
and
Will that
losses.
count next year? All right,
So-
time out. If next year those three guys combine for 11 and a half sacks, does Pat get the hot take?
No, it's
correct?
17. It's 17
Or
and a
we've
half.
now switched
17 and a half,
to
yeah.
We've
I
raised
mean,
that
it's on the
mark.
record.
Yes. So good.
Similar to the coin flip, my hot take is if we score more touchdowns going into the north end zone. No, just kidding.
We were going to talk about the wind direction here.
So I think that there is a really pivotal point in our season, and that's after the Florida State game and after the bye.
Okay.
And I think that there's a stretch there, Wake, Louisville, Syracuse, BC, that if Pry needs to get the team right, if things haven't gone well, I think it's going to be kind of a make or break stretch for his Virginia Tech career. I think we go on a 4-game win streak that lands us somewhere in the top 25 over those 4 games.
Wow.
Whoa. Top 20.
That's a nice, hot, tangible take.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that.
We're coming off of what I would guess is going to be a loss to Florida State. That's a really tough game. We go into the bye. At that point, we might be sub 500 if things don't go well in the first half of the season, or 500. I think that if Pry wants to really step up and solidify himself as the future of this program, it is going to be a very, very,
It's an important stretch.
very strict.
I said this on the Boundary Corner the other day. I mean, you go from those 4 first games, and then you play Pittsburgh, and then you play Florida State, and you get the bye. How is that team going to respond to either overachieving, or how are they going to respond to some adversity, which you may hit in those 2 weeks?
Because I like that take, and I think we might need it, like you said. The first 6 games is kind of a tough stretch, I think. Play Purdue, Rutgers on the road, Marshall's on the road, Florida State on the road, Pittsburgh, who's had our number as of late. It could be a 2-4, 3-3 start. It could be bumpy. And if we're gonna have a 7-5, 8-4 season, we need to have that stretch. I like that take.
Who's quarterback in that stretch?
We'll see.
TBD.
Depends. Let's flip a coin.
Yeah. Doesn't have any ACLs Bridger tries to tear.
Easy.
So Bill, are we pivoting to the
National takes.
Okay.
Go.
Hold on.
Wait, should we do any hokey throwaway takes, like real quick? Like, hey, honorable mentions, here's what we had.
I don't have any throwaways. Is somebody else?
That's all I
Mansour
have.
Delane will become an absolute lockdown corner this year and become a legend of D-block, partially because he switches number to number 4.
I actually have an interesting one to follow. I don't know if it's a hot take. I thought about it, and it's on the Delane front because he was a first team. He was a freshman All-American last year.
Yeah.
So since 2015, you know how many All-Americans we've had?
Since 2015?
Yeah.
Will Herbert was one.
0.
He wasn't a third-team All-American?
No.
We have like did Oscar get like...
Kendall Fuller?
No. He was before that.
I guess
2014.
it's 0.
Caleb Farley.
Had one. Is it Tremaine?
It's one again.
Tremaine
Tremaine
Edmonds?
Edmonds.
Bryce is the one
Wow.
stat.
I was trying to figure out who could fill that slot this year if we had an All-American. We haven't had in 6 seasons. I think Delane's is probably the obvious choice. There's a ton of great cornerbacks out there, which I think is why it would probably be tough.
Yeah.
But I was thinking I think Daquan Wright could be a guy if we get our passing game going this year. He's a big body.
Yeah.
We run kind of a pro style offense. But something to think about. I was looking at that, but I didn't feel confident picking anybody, but I hope I'm wrong.
I think I can see it. And honestly, I am, does it not feel right? Like, my joke take aside, does it not feel right having a single-digit corner back there who's just like a dog?
Like a Macho Harris.
Like a macho.
He was a first-team All-American.
Jimmy
by the way.
Williams, D'Angelo Hall, those guys were animals.
Can I make a motion for next year?
Sure.
There has to be a tangible stat woven in. Like something that you are sticking yourself to.
Yeah, I agree.
Like a measurable stat. You can't just be like,
think- didn't we all do that?
I did that.
Mansour Delane is going to be super.
That
cool
was
and
that was
good.
his throwaway take. That wasn't his real take.
You're just picking on Christian, like Billy's been doing the whole time.
Thank you, Bryce.
Sorry. So moving on to the national takes. National takes, right?
Yes.
So this,
I mean,
this
we
is.
have
Go
two
flip your
each.
coin.
I have 3. That's okay. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't.
Sure.
The first one's always my favorite. I did it last year with Oklahoma. So in the last 30 years, the majority of the time, a top 10 team at preseason.
Right.
Finishes the year unranked. Last year was A&M, Baylor. There's one more.
Oklahoma.
A&M, Baylor, and Oklahoma all finished there. And then there's a team that's unranked. It's happened, I think, 27 of the last 30 seasons. That finishes in the top 10. So I have two teams that are going to fill each bucket, and they're both in the same state. I think this year, and obviously I have a little bias, but I think this year Clemson finishes outside the top 25.
Wow.
Doesn't win 10 games for the first time since 2010. And I think the team that takes their place is South Carolina. Clemson plays Duke on the road week 1, which is a game everyone's just going to assume they're going to win. And I don't believe it. Duke's arguably one of the best coached teams in the conference. They play Florida State, Notre Dame, Carolina, Miami. In South Carolina, I can see an 8-4 season with no ACC championship appearance and a loss in the bowl game. 8-5 with no ranked wins. You're not ranked. And in South Carolina, they have a grueling schedule. But if they beat Carolina and Clemson and only lose 2 games in there, they're ranked.
I hate to do this. This is one of my throwaways. I actually have as one of my takes, South Carolina goes 500. Because you said that you glossed over a grueling schedule. They have to play UNC, at Georgia, at Tennessee, at Texas A&M, Kentucky, Clemson, Florida, and at Missouri.
But to me, if they win game 1 and they win game 12, and they go 8-2 in the way in, I think they might even be able to go 7-3 there.
Yeah.
9-3 might get them ranked 10th.
We disagree.
Losing to Georgia and Tennessee on the road is not equal to they had Georgia at home.
Disagree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very bullish on the Gamecocks last year. They finished super strong, beating Tennessee and Clemson. They knocked them both out of the playoff picture.
Who won that bowl game? Them and Notre Dame.
Notre Dame won.
They got their quarterback coming back.
Spencer
Shane Beamer's
Rattler.
got that team believing in themselves.
New offensive coordinator.
They're playing
Recruiting
right
well.
here, not too far away at B&A Stadium. They win week 1. They're probably going to lose week 3 to Georgia, but
I'll be at that game.
they could string some wins together. I think they're a team to watch out for, and I'm a Clemson fader this year.
Okay.
I think they're going to have their worst year they've had since they started winning all those ACC championships in 2011.
Good take. I like the first half of that take.
That's
take. Wild card pick number 1. Pat, you and I, we're very excited. We're going to see Bruce Springsteen. We're going to see him in a couple of weeks. And
At Soldier Field? With the Bears?
not at Soldier Field. We're seeing him at MetLife Stadium.
Just curious.
He's standing up for you. That's really nice.
I know he is. That's
You
why I like
small
Bryce.
guys got to stick together.
That's why I wish I was sitting next to Bryce.
I'm on my own team. That's
So this could potentially be Bruce Springsteen's last hurrah. We know for a fact this is the Pac-12's last hurrah. This is the last time that we are going to see the Pac-12 the way that we have known the Pac-12 our entire life. My take is that the Pac-12 championship game is going to be a win-and-in game for the college football playoff. It would be the first time that a Pac-12 team made the playoff since 2018. And the second half of this take is that the Pac-12 finishes with 5 top 15 teams in the top 20 in the top 15. I'm looking at Oregon, I'm looking at USC, and I'm looking at Utah as locks for the top 15. I'm looking at Oregon State, who I think is a dark horse for the playoff, who is somebody who's probably playing the last relevant football they're going to play for a very, very long time. I'm looking at Washington, who consistently puts out a good football team. And I'm looking at UCLA, who is coached by Chip Kelly, extremely well coached. They had 4 teams in the top 15 last year. I would love nothing more than to see the Pac-12 have one last special moment, and that's it. So Pac-12 championship is winning in, and Pac-12 finishes with 5 top 15.
The only tough
I like that.
part about that is that they have 4 of the top 15 right now, and they all play.
They do.
There's going to be some.
There's gonna be some
cannibalization there.
yes.
Finish with 5 in the top 15 when 4 of them are already in there is.
It's going to be tough. It's going to require some serious cannibalization, but I do think it's possible. They had 4 last year.
No, I think they already have 5 teams ranked.
They have 4 right
in
now.
the top
They have
15.
4 in the
State's
top.
not
They have 4 in the top 15.
Four
No,
in the
we're
top
talking
15.
top 15. They have to have 5 teams in the top 15.
You got 5 in the top 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I said it's crazy.
They had 4 last year.
A spicy meatball.
Does the SEC even finish with 5 in the top 15? Is it possible just
every
because they
now
have to
and
play
then.
each other?
It's tough. That's why I said.
Yeah.
It's definitely happened before.
You want to
I
talk
was
about?
going to go with 4, but I was like, it's hot wings and hot takes.
I was
not-
telling Pat on the way here, I think the Pac-12 might be the best conference top to bottom when the year's said and done. I think they're going to be really good.
Because
quarterback position in the Pac-12 this year is
Fantastic.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Fantastic.
awesome. It's gonna be. It's
You
a
know,
shame
you
that's
got-
going away because it's gonna be so.
Just
fun.
think of last year, the Pac-12 championship game, USC and Utah. Cam Rising, Caleb Williams, ton of fun. You got Bo Nix. You got Michael Penix Jr. Who's the guy at UCLA? What's his name? He's got one of those long last names. He's
I know
talented.
who you're talking about. He's
Yeah,
good,
yeah. You got DJ up at Oregon
Can
State.
anyone is USC the only team like in their division that's ranked? The other teams are all in the other one, right? Oregon State, Utah, and Washington.
I'm not sure.
Not that familiar with
I'm
their
not
breakdown.
sure. But Oregon has won the most Pac-12 championship games. I do know that. But I do feel passionately that the Pac-12 team is going to make the playoff this year.
I do too. I
So
like that.
that's my pick.
Good take.
Good one.
Thank you.
Tangible. I can measure it.
Thank you. Chris.
Over under 1,000 beers. Assume this fall. Kidding.
All right. So
Obviously.
my non-Virginia Tech hot take is that Ohio State will finish outside the top 10. Go ahead.
No, walk me through how it happened.
I think that there is growing angst in Columbus because that's just how their fans are. And I think that they have to find a new quarterback. I know they've got five-star quarterbacks like waiting in the stalls, but I think that this is just going to be one of those hiccup years for Ohio State. And I think their fans are going to get on them early. And really, I'm just picking this because all of my family went to Ohio State. And I can't stand them, so.
I don't think it's a bad take. And
Okay.
the reason why is Ohio State plays Michigan, Notre Dame, and Penn State this year,
And Wisconsin.
and Wisconsin. Well,
You gotta go to
I think those
Wisconsin.
are the 3 games they actually could lose. If they go 9-3, and their only wins are the land of misfit toys,
Right.
Indiana and whatnot, I don't know if that's enough to keep them inside the top 10.
And-
And those losses are not crazy.
Right.
Because they're all going to be against top 10 teams.
And they're like a crash and burn team, too.
Right.
Like, that's just how
If you're not playing for the play, they're one of those teams that if you're not playing for the playoff, what are you playing for?
I think once you lose 2 games when you're a school like that, specifically Ohio State, and
Yep.
we actually used to do the same thing. It was horrible. Once you are out of the hunt, then you're just like out, right? Like you're out of it mentally.
2003.
Like, players aren't into it, yeah. And like their fans aren't into it. They're all of a sudden calling for all these changes at quarterback. I think it's ultimately, like Bryce said, there's some big games that they could certainly lose. And then
Ryan
just
Day on
that
hot seat?
internal pressure cooker that's created in an Ohio
happens,
State type
yeah.
environment, I think ultimately gets them.
Look, I'd love to see it.
Does
I
Ryan,
don't think it's that
does
crazy. I
Ryan
think
Day
it's a
get
good
the
take.
axe?
It's a good hot take.
I think their fans will be talking about it, but I don't think he will.
I think they're a national championship or bust team
Yes.
program though. Like,
But how many seasons do they get that before Ryan Day does start to get?
Also, can we talk about like how many seasons? Yeah, how many seasons did they actually win national championships?
Can we talk about the fact that
just tell
they,
you what the bar is.
No, I know.
they missed a field goal to not
Yeah.
to not go to the
They could have been
national championship last year.
But their fans, the way their fans are, which all of the
Ruggles.
fans are like this, is they're like, well, we should have won it before
Yeah,
that.
no,
You know?
You sure can.
Pat Finn.
I like that take.
Billy Ray,
I think it's your best one tonight.
Thank you.
you talked about it at the top, how PBR is going to be at Benny's in Lane Stadium this year.
Yes.
Billy Ray, over 1.5 slices of Benny's in Lane Stadium this fall.
Are you asking?
I'm telling.
I can tell you I will absolutely have more than 1.5 slices of
Billy Ray,
pizza.
over
Per
3.5
game? Per game?
How about 3.5?
per game.
No.
That actually is probably closer. Yeah. That's actually probably closer.
Like someone,
right.
like
Well, no.
someone else wears one, you eat part of theirs.
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to go get a slice. Oh, you mind getting me one?
Yeah, Pat's going to be writing down, Billy had 0.33 of the last of my pizza.
That was 4 bites. No, but the take is actually last year, we were in Isle Palms, and we watched a great football game between LSU
Yes.
and between Florida State. Was it at the Benz?
It was the Superdome.
Yeah. And we saw Jordan Travis, and we saw Jaden Daniels. And it was a great football game. They're rematching this fall, week 1 in Orlando. It's going to be another great game, Camping World Stadium. My take, the winner of the LSU-Florida State game, the winning quarterback will win the Heisman Trophy.
I like it.
Short and sweet.
It is a hot take. That is a scorching take. That is a scorching take.
Sets the tone.
Might be the hottest one of the night.
Gets
It
it
might-
going.
Great one though, and it's easily measurable. I like it. Our takes are getting better.
But here's the thing.
The game's going to be
Jordan
awesome.
Travis loses week 1. He could still win the Heisman.
He can.
Who do you want to win that game?
I'm going Florida State to win the game.
I do too. I kind of. It's weird to me that I'm actually like kind of rooting for Florida State.
Because you're like, the ACC can compete without just Clemson.
And they're not Miami, right? I think they're easy to root for me. And I've been there, and their fans are great. But all right, Griff, you're up.
That leads its way right into my hot take. NC State, a team that I feel, a school that I feel is the Virginia Tech of North Carolina. It's an ag school. They just seem to have a generally good time. They know the tailgate. I've been to a few games there. It's just a pretty fun time. I think that NC State wins the ACC this year.
Wow.
They have Brennan Armstrong, who led the nation in passing 2 years ago with over 4,500 yards and I think 31 touchdowns. And now they also have the offensive coordinator from Virginia when he was there. They have a top 25 defense for the past 2 or 3 years now. I think that
Shout out Charlie
might
Wiles.
struggle this year.
Yeah.
I think
Someone's gotta win.
I think that NC State has a legit shot to win the ACC.
And I don't think they play Clemson either.
I like that take.
That's a hot take. And
That is a hot take.
I mean, it's going to be amazing that they're going to overcome their loss in Week 11 or Week 12 to Virginia Tech and still win the conference.
Virginia Tech and Pop Watson, week 11.
I like it. I think our takes have gotten.
Well, we only
better.
want, Billy, it's
maybe
only
the
because we
PBR
won
is
the coin
helping us
toss.
here. So this is my favorite take of the time. Like every other take I've made, there's a trivia question. This is my favorite player in college football.
Okay.
I actually think he's the best.
Outside of Tech or just after
Period.
Tech?
I think he's actually the best college football player in the country. Like, if there was 11 of him that had to go play every position, no one could beat him.
Okay.
Playing as 11 versus him. You with me?
I am.
Who'd you say?
I haven't said his
He
name
hasn't
yet.
said it yet.
So in his first 2 seasons, he's had 1,900 receiving yards. He's had 20 receiving touchdowns. He has had 4 rushing touchdowns. He led his team in receiving receptions by 30 in each year. Who am I talking about?
I have no idea.
Can I give you a hint?
Is he in the Power 5?
Yes. Can I give you a hint?
He's in the SEC.
He's won 2 national championships.
Gotta be on Georgia then, right?
Yep.
So Georgia's top receiver.
My guy, Brock Bowers.
Oh.
Man's man. I think he has 4 touchdowns in 2 national championship games. He is a bad man. I think he's the future Travis Kelce. I wish the Panthers could land him, but we traded our first round pick for next year, and there's no way he's there in later picks. So, here's my hot take. The last time a tight end finished in the top 5 of the Heisman voting was in 1977. The tight end from Notre Dame. I looked this up. His name's Ken McAfee. Shout out to him and his family.
Ken.
Not only do I think Brock Bowers finishes high in the Heisman voting, I think he gets an invite to New York.
A tight end in New York.
I think he's going to be that insane this year.
Wow.
I think he's insane. And I think he's gonna be the big reason Georgia pulls through this year, wins a bunch of games, probably makes the playoffs.
So you think he's going to have a Heisman moment?
I think he is as a tight end.
He's gonna have a Michael Crabtree catch, run down the sideline into
Yeah.
the end zone type moment.
Can you remove the hottest take crown from Pat and give it
his
to Bryce?
freshman year, he had 13 receiving touchdowns. That'd be the most in Virginia Tech history.
I mean, he is
and
an
he was
absolute,
18 playing
he is,
tight end.
He is an absolute animal, but I love your point. It's going to be very difficult because the Heisman Trophy is won off of highlights.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to put up numbers. Is he going to have something like a game-winning touchdown catch? Is he going to have a game where he goes for 350?
He's going to need to hurdle 3 guys in one play.
It's going to be a big, like, breaking a bunch of tackles, scoring a game maybe at Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, to go up late in the game for his 3rd touchdown, 212 receiving yards.
I mean, that's something you try to do in like NCAA 14. I like that.
Because they're going to have to lean
from
on him.
From the Raptor, 212. I might make if there's a
prop bet,
a little prop bet.
Brock Bowers, if you're listening, we are pro Brock Bowers podcast. I love the man. I think he's incredible. I think he goes to New York. He doesn't win, but he gets to put on a suit, gets to be in front of, all of us.
I like that take.
Yeah, Brock Bowers.
That's why we're here. Hotter takes, right?
Yeah, that was no sweet barbecue.
Yeah. No.
I hope everybody has their pants on.
I haven't the whole time.
We need an adjustment over here.
This is the take that I am the most excited about.
This one has an exclamation point behind one of the points.
It does. It's actually a question mark, but Billy gets confused sometimes.
So Colin,
I am Ron Burgundy.
Everybody is talking about America's ACC sweethearts. We're talking about Drake May. We're talking about Jordan Travis. Maybe we're even talking about Cade Klubnik. Take my kid to prom! Everybody's talking about these 3
Hunter
kids.
Couture?
Everybody's talking about these quarterbacks. My hot take is that Riley Leonard and Brennan Armstrong will combine for more yards and more touchdowns than Drake May and Jordan Travis. Brennan Armstrong is back with Robert Anae in 2021 at UVA, which everybody just kind of glosses over. He threw 40. He accounted for 40 touchdowns. He accounted for 4,700 yards. And Riley Leonard has his 3 top receivers back and his tight end back. Last year, he had 33 touchdowns with 3,666 yards.
So you just told us like almost 80 combined touchdowns, and you were saying that our pants need to come off?
I'm saying that Riley Leonard and Brennan Armstrong are going to put up better combined numbers than Drake May and Jordan Travis.
I mean, yeah, you just told us some awesome numbers from last year.
Did they beat them last year?
Yeah.
Maybe. You are not going to poo-poo on this tape. There is not a person who thinks without actually going through it.
How many touchdowns did Colt Brennan throw at Hawaii,
Don't
dude?
retroactively try to make up for you saying 3 people would account for 10 sacks, okay?
11 and a half, dude.
I wish this was live and I want someone to fact check. I want to look at last year because it's probably close, right?
But nobody's thinking about it in that regard. Nobody's thinking about the quarterback from Duke and the quarterback from NC State being better than America's sweetheart and Drake May and Jordan Travis at Florida State.
Is Drake May America's sweetheart or the East Coast sweetheart?
He's the East Coast sweetheart. He's the ACC sweetheart.
I gotta tell you, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I go to the grocery store, and guess who I'm not hearing about? Drake May.
I
live in Myers Park. You know where Drake May went to high school?
Myers Park High School.
Myers Park High School.
That is an indictment on the fans at North Carolina. It's a high.
I just wanted you to say that.
So you don't. I do think that's a bit of a hot take, and I believe I read it to you before we started, and you said, "I like that." I think that's exactly what happened.
He's trying to make him
build you up. I was going to bury you.
Wait. So you guys are like giving each other a little hot take tidbits before this, and I'm left out here on an island with coin tosses.
Nobody can save you with your fucking coin flip.
Two.
We didn't have enough time for that.
Wait, serious.
I'm playing with house money now.
Serious business. Do we have a problem with that tape?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hot.
I don't think it's that spicy.
It's not that hot. That's the thing.
All right.
I think there's a barometer
That
for
is your
Bryce.
opinion.
I mean, Brennan Armstrong.
Bryce is at a triple
2
S
years
right now,
ago, I
and Billy
think,
is PG, maybe G.
Didn't Armstrong lead the ACC
Brennan
in total
Armstrong-
yards 2 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're saying he's gonna be good again?
Yeah.
Oh, he has the same coordinator and a better football team?
He's gonna be pretty sick again.
That's my take. I stand by it.
Hey, dude, I support you.
Thank you.
No, you don't support
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Get me that Bart Simpson, at least you tried cake.
All right, next one. An ACC team wins the national championship, and it will be Florida State. Is this very hot? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
I think
Florida State.
So they went 10-3 last season, and they returned 87% of their 2022 production. That's a lot.
Which is how
Who's the
For
running
Duke
back?
Bucks?
Is it
we get the
Benson?
score on the coin flip too, right?
Which
87%.
is just above the percentage of number of coin flips that. All right. So I think Jordan Travis is actually going to live up to the hype. I think he's going to be very much in the Heisman talk, and I think the rest of Florida State's talent is finally going to come to fruition. I think similar to my last take, they're the type of team that either crashes and burns or just like takes off. I think that they gain momentum and they kind of get that confidence and swagger back, and I think they could take it all the way.
I'd love to see it.
I would
And
too.
week one could be the national championship. They could play again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to see them go to the national championship when we beat them, but
And the ACC
Well-
needs that.
Ohio State did it in 2014, so.
that's true.
Pat Finn?
So, we're hearing a lot of Florida State at this table, by the way. A lot of Florida State. It's good to hear.
One would say one of their quarterbacks is America's sweetheart.
Does America have two sweethearts? All right, so the Big Ten added a lot of good teams over the last few weeks. Okay, the Big Ten is hot.
It is.
All right,
It's like the Big 20 now.
everyone's getting a lot of money when they play in the Big Ten. There's 3 teams in the Big Ten that I hate. I hate all 3 of them. Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. Collectively at this table, does anyone have any like warmth in their heart for
I
any
like
of those
Michigan.
schools?
I like
I used to play
Michigan
with
as well.
Michigan in
Did you
like
say Penn State?
NCAA
Did you throw Penn State
2013.
there? I just think they're
Good fight song.
I like Michigan.
I like
games are
Michigan,
pretty
and I have
cool.
no problems with Penn State.
I'm
I'm
ready
not
for
a big
Michigan.
James Franklin guy, but I do like Penn
Hey,
State.
Yeah, the whiteout.
But
Penn
to
State's
go along
pretty
with your
cool.
point,
yeah.
overrated. I think all of them are.
I'm allowed to dislike
Some
all
of
of
the
them.
off-field antics
Michigan,
were
Michigan has a
questionable.
player who actually might win the Heisman.
So
Blake Corum,
Blake Corum.
former Virginia Tech commit.
Okay. So anywho, all 3 of these teams are good for these guys double-digit wins this year, right?
Yep.
You got Ohio State. Ohio State might be the best team in the country, sans
I know
quarterback.
what he's gonna say.
Sans quarterback. You think? Okay. Michigan fumbled the national championship away, losing to TCU in the semis.
They wouldn't have beaten Georgia, so I don't know if they fumbled it away.
They fumbled the opportunity to get
Yes.
there. Thank
Yeah.
you. And then Penn State is, you kind of get the same Penn State every single year, right? Hey, 10-2, sign
Yeah,
me
they're
up.
gonna lose.
Yeah.
They're
I'd love
gonna
to go
lose 2
10-2.
dumb games.
Yeah.
This is the year that Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan all go 11-1
Whoa.
and all round robin beat each other.
What does the committee do for that?
Penn State has to go to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State
Highest ranked team.
has to go to Michigan, and Michigan plays Penn State on their whiteout. So you're probably thinking, Pat, that's a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
You know what happens when there's a tiebreaker?
A coin flip.
If Ohio State's in there,
Does it? Do the coin flip or do they do by rankings?
That's what they did in Friday Night Lights.
I think they'd pick Ohio State.
It's
every single
complete chaos, okay?
Yeah.
I remember 2008, and 2008 was like one of the best like ACC Coastal Wheel of Destiny years. And we got in, we fumbled our way into the ACC championship game with like a 5-3 Coastal record.
think
And
we need
like
to tell Pat
there
what
were
that
like
was.
3 teams, there were like 3 teams with a 5-3 record, but thankfully we got in. But yeah, you can't give a team the nod because of a head-to-head. Big Ten, mind you, is still in divisions this year. So I'm not going to tell you guys how the tiebreaker is decided. It's like I looked up multiple articles today. There's like bylaws and footnotes and X, Y, and Z. I don't know how the heck they're going to do it, but when it happens, it's going to be absolutely crazy.
I
It's like
love that take.
Is it the Price is Right? Do they like put like a household item out there?
I
Can it
love
go over?
I love this take
$1,
because
Bob.
it's so conceivable just based upon how unchallenging some of their schedules are. I actually think out of those 3,
Look at Michigan's
I
schedule.
think Ohio State out of those 3 teams has the toughest schedule. I can
they play
absolutely
Notre Dame.
see- they play Notre Dame, and I think Penn State's toughest out-of-conference game is they play West
They got
Virginia.
West Virginia,
They
who's
play
not going to be good.
Pittsburgh? No, they play West Virginia.
And then and Michigan has probably. If you think our schedule is easy, go ahead and go look at Michigan's schedule. I like that. I like that take a lot.
That's a shot across
College
the bow.
football would love to see that. So you think they're all going to go 11-1?
It could happen, and that's
would we love to see
that's
that?
what I'm floating
I
out
think
there.
they would. I think the committee would just
The-
pick Ohio
hold
State
on.
again. They don't even have to play in their conference.
hold on.
Hold
Is
on,
that-
I have to clarify something, and it could cause a problem. When you say 11-1, what you really mean is 11-1 and 7-1 in conference. Because if Ohio State loses to Notre Dame,
No.
it goes
This
8-0.
is the round
You think
robin
they're all gonna
beating
lose to
each other.
and then beat everybody else.
The home team wins in all 3.
So you
How
think,
does-
but you think
how
outside of
does
that,
the
they all
Big-
go 33. They all go 30-0.
They all run the table in all those other Big Ten.
Yeah, it's-
Are you talking about the? How does
Sounds
the
like
Big
you're
Ten
betting Big Ten
championship
money
work
line
for
on
that?
those.
So this
games
would
every
be
week.
this would be the Big Ten East.
He's talking regular season. The Big Ten
Yeah, regular
championship will
You
play
think
itself
they're
out.
all going to go 11-1, 7-1,
Okay.
and lose
Yeah.
to each other?
Yeah.
Yep. And then Wisconsin or whoever the heck it is,
Yeah.
the lucky guy in the West this year. Last year was Purdue. I don't know who it's going to be this year, but they get to play the winner of that and get their ass kicked.
Good take.
That's a lot of things that have to happen.
Griff.
Just going on the national scale again. Everybody's talking about perennial powerhouses that might fall short. I think that Bama loses 3 games this year. They have 5 games against top 25 opponents. 3 of those games are against top 12 opponents. They also have to go to a tough Arkansas. I think Arkansas is going to surprise a lot of people this year. And then they have to finish the year with Auburn, a team that I think is rebounding. And I think that there's just in that, just those games that I mentioned, 7 of their 12 games, I think that 3 of them very easily could be lost.
Nick Saban is clipping this and playing it at practice.
So hold
great.
on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Alabama, I think, went 9-3 last year in the regular season? Because they played Kansas State, right? Or did they win 10-2? I think they went 9-3.
Is this the beginning of the end for
No,
Saban?
they lost 2 games.
Bama lost to Tennessee and they
Nick
lost to
Saban-
LSU.
yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying.
So I think they went 10-2.
Wait.
10-2. I
don't know.
I don't think it's a bad take because
When's
you know,
the last time they
Rieger-
lost 3 games?
and in the last 6-7 years. But it's an interesting point. Is Saban going to leave because the team is not performing at their usual clip?
Or does he leave on
Or
top?
is he going to leave on top? Obviously, one of those 2 things is going to happen. At some point, he's going to have an 8-4 or 9-3 season, right? Maybe. I don't know. I kind of like it.
They gotta play Texas.
Every great coach was like unstoppable, right? And then eventually they drop down and stay just a little too long.
Yeah, you either stay too long or you go out on top,
Yeah,
right?
and I don't think that kind of competitor like leaves early.
It's hard to.
You know? Yeah.
Again,
All
I
right,
would
so
You have 2 left, so give us
that's 2
back
around.
to back.
I'm done. I got no more takes.
Yeah, he has
one
2,
left.
right?
I have
Oh, you
one
have
Last time they lost 3
Oh,
games
yeah, I'm
was
done.
2010.
I'm
Well,
done,
I have
yeah.
one.
He has 1 left.
So I think this one's a good like big picture one. We've touched on a lot of this stuff. So we had the playoffs, and generally the playoffs is you got a team from the Pac-12, the ACC, Big Ten. Lately we've had multiple SEC teams. So the last time there was no SEC team in the title game was 2014. Florida State, Oregon. I think this year we will have no SEC team in the national championship game. There's a lot of good Pac-12 teams. The ACC actually has more than 1 team. The Big Ten's got 2 and a half. Let's call them 2.5 teams. You have a Notre Dame team who's got a good quarterback. You have Georgia and Alabama searching for quarterbacks. LSU hasn't done it in a while. Well, they did it with Joe Burrow, but outside of that, that was a miracle season. It was a great season. I think there's going to be no SEC team, which I know it hurts your heart as an SEC fanboy, in the national championship game.
I think I can totally see that. The only way I like that you wove in that you think a lot of the teams have issues, because if there are 2 SEC teams that are going to make the playoff, they're going to separate them. They're going to put them in. They're going to put them in different games.
Then I have no chance.
So
obviously.
so you're basically banking on
one
SEC team, which would likely be Georgia, losing to somebody in the semifinal.
Losing to yeah.
I like that. I like that pick.
Because I get it, right? Georgia's just bigger, right? We saw that 2 years ago in the Michigan game. Like they made Michigan look like a small football team.
Right.
And that's going to be hard to compete with. They still have the bigger bodies, but they don't have the proven commodity at quarterback, and that's an important part. I mean, they have Brock Bowers almost winning the Heisman, which is exciting, great for him. But I think college football is hungry and due for an SEC upset in the playoffs. And I think we get it this year because there's a ton of great teams. I think this is the most parity we've had. We got Texas is playing well.
Yeah.
USC's playing well. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, Penn State actually might even be a force this year. You got a lot of teams. You got 4 states back.
I'll say this: I'm rooting for that to happen because I'm normally an SEC truther and fanboy. This year, I'm a Pac-12 fanboy. I don't know if I'm a truther, but I do want to see the Pac-12 just have one last hurrah. I like that take.
How fun would it be to see Florida State, Michigan, Texas, like USC? And obviously, that would be eliminated the SEC team, but that would be so fun, and we all want it so badly.
Yeah. Give us literally anything different than we have seen for the last few years.
If I see Georgia LSU in the national championship game, like I didn't watch last year, I won't watch again this year.
It sucks.
It is.
Yeah.
So to wrap us up, to take us home, I have some fan-submitted takes. We'll just do a general reaction to each one, and then that'll take us home. So
Well, you wanted to do something fun for that, though, right?
I was gonna do hammer, sprinkle, hard pass.
Yeah, we do.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Especially
You got
sprinkles
that?
kind of plays into
Hammer.
Hammer, sprinkle, or hard pass.
Hard pass.
Take number 1. I love this take. Virginia Tech starts 5-0, Florida State starts 4-0, and College Game Day is in Tallahassee for that football game. Now, let me tell you what has to happen for this. Florida State has to beat LSU, and they need to beat Clemson. Virginia Tech needs to beat ODU, Purdue, Marshall, Rutgers, and Pitt. Game Day would have to choose that game over Bama, Texas A&M, OU, Texas, and Notre Dame, Louisville. I'm going to have to pass on that.
It's a hard pass.
Do you want the
Hard
pass,
pass.
Ben? Hard pass.
Hammer.
Ed Williams.
I'd love it, though.
I love it too. That would be awesome. That would be unbelievable.
They'll go Oklahoma.
That was from Ed.
Huh?
That was from Ed.
I don't
No,
agree with that.
That was from Andrew
I
Onsell.
think if we were both undefeated to that point,
They'd have to
being
go.
that Oklahoma and Texas are going to stay in the same
Right.
conference together, I think they're craving to go to Tallahassee for a big game.
Give Norvell a nice
They
opportunity.
would love it.
Honestly, if
And
Tech
they love
has one
Virginia
loss,
Tech.
they'd probably
They
go.
would
Yeah.
love to see
They
Virginia
do.
Tech
They
in
would
the
eat that
national
matchup.
championship. They'd rank us 25 at courtesy.
Yeah, courtesy rank.
Ed Williams, Chance Black is the most productive running back on the team this year. Digest it.
Sprinkle!
I'd sprinkle on it. I'd sprinkle on it.
Sprinkle!
Hard pass.
I mean,
Facial toot and truther.
yeah.
I'll sprinkle that one.
Okay. I'm excited to find out which one he says no to. So please just say yes to all.
Fired up.
Oh, you'll like this one. Cody Morton. Pop Watson burns his red shirt.
No.
Hard pass.
I would sprinkle that.
Okay.
Because that's 5 games, right? He has to play 80 minutes, right?
Yes. There's no way he's playing 5 games.
Hard pass.
Something bad
They would,
would have
put
to
Jack,
happen.
they would put Jack Hollifield at quarterback before he plays 5 games.
The thing is,
But if you were throwing like a little money around, I think I'd.
Guys, remember, he only weighs 175 pounds.
Just think about it. If one person gets injured,
yeah, but like 10 of
that
that
means he's the backup. And it's not crazy for the backup to play meaningful minutes. And what if drones or Wells struggled and he had no choice?
If this was plays, I would understand that. For him to burn his red shirt, I have a hard time
Quick
seeing
question:
that.
If
Pat.
let's say someone gets hurt and he's the backup, and someone's helmet goes off and you have to leave for a play.
Yeah.
Is that a rule in college?
Yeah,
And Pop Watson comes in. Does that count as an appearance?
I believe it does.
Yeah.
Okay. So I only have to play one play for it to
Yeah.
count.
Okay, that's not gonna
We're going to have
happen.
some bad helmets this year. Yeah.
I didn't know that,
Somebody's getting their helmet super glued to
Yeah.
we
their head.
spent like at least 15 minutes of the show talking about Pop Watson props.
I'll do a hard pass, but I still agree with my take. Where
I like them better than
use
the other
future.
two, Pat. I mean,
Starting this game.
for decent odds, I'd throw a unit on it.
How many more you got, Bill?
One,
I wanna
two,
throw one
three,
in.
4, 5, 6.
Ow.
Throw one in.
Okay. Jimbo Fisher is fired by week 11.
What? So that would be the week before the LSU game.
Sure.
Don't they owe him a lot of money though if they fire him?
Yeah, but do you know how much money?
They got
What's
oil money.
What's money in
Did
college
you watch
football?
that?
They just watched the doc. Yeah.
Where they raised $750 million in 2014
I
after
mean,
Johnny.
by then they just take a deposit from the grit jar fund. It's gonna
I
be
would
there.
I would probably pass on that. I do not like Jimbo Fisher, but I would probably pass on that.
Yeah.
I don't think they can. I think they're stuck.
So
with
it's so much money.
I was surprised no Jimbo talk came up during
That's true.
our college football takes.
yeah.
We have 2 picks from our guy Ringo, John Yetzi. The first one is Virginia Tech finishes top 25 in S&P Plus defense. In 2022, we finished number 38, and we are slated at 51 now. I think our defense is going to be pretty damn good this year. I think we are better at every single position on defense. I think Chris Marv is going to be an absolute stud, and I am fired up to say that I would hammer that. I would hammer that.
John Sheff? Is John Sheff here?
He also says
No, but we got Big Chef.
Kelly Lawson leaves the season as a projected first-round pick,
So is that Key-Lock?
similar to Tremaine Edmonds.
He's got the frame for
Leaves
it.
this year for that?
He absolutely
he
leaves the
is he
year,
a
and people are
redshirt
saying
sophomore?
he's not going to leave.
Oh,
They're
okay,
saying
yeah.
like next year. They're saying this guy is one of the best players in college football, and a projected first
Yeah,
round pick.
I think I'd sprinkle
Salt
a
Bae?
little
Salt Bae?
Yeah, I would. You're
Hammer that one.
Yeah.
What's up on Chef for the salt bag?
I would probably pass on that, but I am a buyer of his talent.
Did you also say the linebackers were going to lead in sacks?
I do. Yes, I think that.
And you think the best linebacker is not going to be?
A projected first-round pick coming off of this
Combined
season.
for 17
There are
sacks.
other things that I want to bet on. There are other things that I want to bet on.
But you can
What do we got
sprinkle.
there?
You got a little what?
Last 4.
Last 4. Said number.
Robert Irby. Benji Gosnell leads all tight ends in receiving yards. No.
Daquan, bro.
I would hammer that. I I would hammer Benji Gosnell leading all tight ends with receiving yards. Boom! I would hammer that. I'm hammering that.
I love the hot take.
I think he's athletic. I think that he's going to create matchup problems lining up there. Our guy Tucker Holloway raves about Benji Gosnell. So I'd hammer that. I like that take.
Okay.
Everybody else is out?
Noise.
It is.
Yeah, it
Can
is
we just
nice.
pause for?
Sam Jesse. This is a hot take. I think the problem with hot takes is a lot of times it becomes wishful thinking. But this would be great. I would enjoy this. Virginia Tech averages 28 plus points per game this year. That would be an improvement from last year's 19.3.
How many did we average when Gerard?
What did we rank last year? What
I
was
believe we
19?
averaged 30.3 in 2020.
That was the most ever, right? Oh,
in
2020.
2020.
Oh.
I think that
I can get a
4 touchdowns?
I'm not gonna hammer it, but I can definitely.
Four
If we want
touchdowns?
to see some production, if we want to see a good year, if some of these takes have to come to fruition, we're gonna have to score points.
The
I
problem
think
that
we're
you-
11 points better than last year, and the schedule might be worse.
Well, here's what I was
we
going to
hammer
say.
it?
I was about to agree with you. The one thing is we don't have that built-in like FCS team that you're going to juice your
Okay,
numbers.
One game against Wofford isn't gonna.
Yo, can I just finish what I'm saying before you poo-poo on it? It absolutely.
We scored like 26 points against
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't hit the 28.
What I'm saying is you definitely are able to juice your numbers when you play the Delawares of the world and these other schools when you take advantage of it. The two teams that we're playing under that guise are ODU, who's not very good, and Marshall, who has a tremendous defense.
Wait, you say ODU's not that good?
What I'm saying is you're not playing that FCS team that you normally get to play and juice your numbers. You're
Yeah,
not
but we
going to
got
score.
UVA.
That's true too. We do have UVA at the end of the season.
So we finished with 35 points per game in 2016 for reference.
So a touchdown less.
I'd sprinkle it. I'd sprinkle it.
I would sure hope there's a little.
Is there?
Like, I would not call that wishful thinking.
Is
I
there
would call
a
that
s-
within
a
the realm of
sprinkle hammer?
possibility.
A sprammer?
A spring
sprammer?
And is that scoring offense?
It's just points per game.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
so
Our safeties are
every now and again.
Coach Jones is going to have 2 pick sixes. I mean, it's going to be out of control.
Nixon will APR scoop and score. Come on.
Last two. Brett Smith. Kieran Jones does not start a game in 2023.
That's a hot take.
Kieran Jones.
Kyron Jones. I don't know if it's Kieran or
Kieran,
Kyron.
is he Irish?
Kyron Jones does not start a game
I'd sprinkle
in
that.
2023.
Doesn't-
I would hammer that because I think Virginia Tech comes out of the season with Grant Wells starting, and I think there are packages for Drones where he runs the ball. I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know if he's going to start a game.
I'm hard passing.
I'm
think I would.
passing it.
hard pass.
Hard passing it.
Hard pass.
There will be some sort of injury. There'll
There's
be
a big
something.
difference between playing a significant amount or
Or
some
starting
and
a game.
starting.
I'm just saying that means Grant Wells is healthy enough to start all 12.
He was last year.
Behind a line. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Has he missed a game in his last 2 seasons?
He hasn't. No.
durable.
He's a big body.
Built Ford tough.
I like it.
Last one.
9 touchdowns sucks.
JMU beats UVA by 2+ scores. Anyone grab the hammer?
I'd sprinkle that.
You'd sprinkle that? I'm going to go ahead and hammer that.
It's at Virginia, right?
Huh? It's at Virginia.
Oh, it's not Virginia.
JMU's gonna end up as top 10.
No, I think JMU is the best team in the state, most likely.
So why are you not picking up your hammer?
Because you got to score 2 touchdowns.
No,
More
he
than
said
them.
2 scores. That's 10 points. Technically,
That could be 6
that's
points.
9 points.
Technically, it's 4.
No, yeah, sorry. Not 2 scores.
That was fun.
Was that
We've
the last
got-
take?
we
I think that's
All
it.
right. Do we have any closing thoughts?
Any closing thoughts? Record for Virginia Tech. We're planting our flag right now.
7-5.
Well, can we wait to get to you?
7 and
Oh, I'm
5.
so sorry.
Starting with you.
Hokies are going 7 and 5 this year. I think I'd be really happy with 7 and 5, which is an indictment on how far we have fallen. But that also means that good times are ahead. 7 and 5.
Just to buck the trend, because I know everybody's gonna settle right in on 7-5. I'll say 8 and 4, but I am gonna say hammering our win total over. I think we're at
5.5.
3.5. No, did it go
3.5. Where did you get
4
those
and a half?
odds?
No, we were coming back. I think
We're
it was 4.5.
bro, we're at
I think it was
5.5.
4.5.
We're at 5.5.
All right, cool. Like a month ago when we come back from the golf, it was 4.5.
I
So if it's a 5.5
I think it
now,
started at 4.5. Might have. It's 5.5 now.
5, all right, so
I agree with you, Chris.
Bryce?
I think we have a tough stretch out of the gate. But I think we finished pretty well and go 7-5.
8-4.
8-4. I think that our record will be better than what our team is, though. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we have an easy,
overachieving.
I think we have an easy schedule. I think that we win the games we're supposed to, but I still don't think that we're like a true 8-4 team of like, oh, that is a good football team. I think we have a lot of improvement. Yeah.
Versus win the bowl
I think
game
our
line.
safeties will be nasty. Yeah, but
Winning 8 games the regular season would be pretty impressive.
It'd be great.
It would be very impressive.
Love it. Awesome.
That's a podcast. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Rally Pickleball. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for making this happen. Shout out to our friends
besides
at
this shirt,
TBR.
besides this shirt,
Corey?
And shout out to all of our friends. Shout out to you, Chef. Thank you so much for your fantastic
And
food.
also, we remind you guys to drink responsibly.
Please drink responsibly, the PBR. And we're looking forward to a great football season, fellas. That's the podcast.
See you guys in Section 5.
Go Hokies.
Oh, that was good. That was a sick clap.
why no one told me to clap?
How soon until Virginia Tech has a Division I pickleball team? Over under 2031.
Great thing about pickleball, not only is it a bunch of fun for the family, but it is hip replacement safe, it is knee replacement safe, so if you have any ailments, it does not prevent you from taking part in this great game. Don't get too tired, don't get too sweaty,